Thanks for checking out the channel. If you can't tell, allergic reaction of some sort. Really puffy face. Um, but I did check out a video about Coach Anthony Room. He's the defensive coordinator at Moline High School in Illinois. Talks about his multiple 3-4 on the Chiefpigskin YouTube channel. And Coach does a great job sharing player and coach goals. Loving the game, playing for each other as a family. I think that's something that really you really only understand if you have been part of a team. A lot of times, and some teams they don't get to the point where they truly are just playing for each other, playing as a family. Whatever it takes to go 1-0, and then the defensive expectations, kind of defensive philosophy, so to speak. Um, Wants their guys to play fast. That means they know what they're doing. You know what you're doing. You know where you're going as soon as you see whatever read your key ends up giving you. Playing physical, that's leveraging and tackling its team, and I really agree. I think the most physical teams, they're not just going to hit you. They're going to hit you with multiple guys, especially once you got the ball. And then they're playing together. They want 11 guys to be pursuing to the ball. For those of you who haven't checked out my channel before, I did a video series on 3-4 and how I believe you go about playing a 3-4 defense, and a lot of similarities Coach Room has with what I believe in philosophically defensively, and how to best execute a defense. He's a field boundary guy, something that I totally agree with. Um, they ultimately, he said the tackle there is usually a little bit bigger than the end because he's going to be stunting into B gap, playing really kind of like a 3 technique off movement. The run responsibilities for the D line, I really like the idea with the odd front. I think when things are going right and your guys are executing, 3 guys are going to eat up 5 blockers, and totally agree with that idea from Coach. He was a former defensive line coach. Coach Room was, and spent a lot of time. I can tell like a lot of these are things that I believe is the responsibility of D line. They're playing their technique as if they're in a stacked defense. All D line are going to be spill and chase players. They can't get trapped. He talked about, don't get pushed off the cliff by getting knocked off the ball. Don't run off the cliff by going too far outfield. That's how his little coaching point. And then really big on getting hands on the first, on the offensive line first, and attacking the shoulder that's shaded on. And sometimes the Sam and potentially the will end up with similar responsibilities depending on the front. Outside linebacker run responsibilities, goes over those. Big key there, I think, is he's action away. You become the QB, cutback, counter, reverse player, and that's the guy responsible for that, especially with most of the offenses that he saw. And the inside linebacker, big time reading the guards. I think 3-4 is set up really well, and Coach Room alludes to this. If somebody's running a gap scheme with a guard puller, like 3-4, it's a great way to fit it. It's going to be nice and clear reads, and inside linebacker is going to be able to attack downhill or follow or scrape and overlap following that polar. And then defensive back responsibilities. I think anytime you're running some sort of 7-man front, you got to get an 8th guy involved with the run. Secondary, contained players, DBs, they got to be great tacklers because they are going to be that 8th, and depending on formation, maybe 9th guy that's in a box. So that's important. Their base coverage is what he calls a lock. It's a split field. If they've got 2 detached receivers to a side, that side's going to be playing ultimately cover 2 read. If there is no detached receiver, they're going to be playing man, and that's ultimately how they get that 8th guy in the box. Whoever's man on something like a H-back or a tight end, they're probably, as soon as that guy's blocking, they're going to become the 8th guy in the box, and I think that's really important. Ultimately, the offense has 8 guys in there. The defense needs to have 8 guys in there, and Coach Room alludes to that. He goes over some of his popular blitzes, shows a clip of each, and then he just goes over his couple different fronts and alignments against different formations. You see that they go from that's almost a 8-man box. Probably I'd call it 7. Strong safety is walked up over number 3 there. Now they're 9 in the box because the offense has 9 in the box. So something that I think is really, really key here is you need to constantly match box and perimeter numbers. And that's what Coach shows a bunch of times on video. And just they do a great job. Coach Room and his assistants, they do a great job of getting their guys to the ball, wing set. And then something that I really, really absolutely like, this is their over front. So right now that is their, I think they call him Sam linebacker, is put his hand in the dirt and playing like a defensive end. And he goes over a clip of him spilling. That tight end, he gets hands on him by forcing, and it's not just getting hands on. You're striking him. But if guys get their hands on, they're going to feel the block, the down block. They're going to squeeze it. They're going to take all the air out of it, as you see in the middle clip here. And then not only that, Coach Room, he totally understands defense. Points out now that middle linebacker is clear to scrape and fill right off of the butt of the defense of the Sam linebacker. And then the Sam linebacker spills the first guard. That leaves 2 linebackers for just a pulling guard. And then on top of all that, the backside, it'd be the end, because the end's opposite the Sam. Coach's backside end runs the play down from behind and gets tackled for loss. So Coach goes over fundamentals there, and then on balance formation. So check it out, because Coach Room shows how to have a simple yet flexible defense to stop the run and still be sound against the pass with this multiple 3-4. Has detailed examples of run fits. Coach gets nerdy, when he goes over some of the film clips, and really enjoy watching that. It's always great reminders that it ultimately comes down to each guy fitting together on defense to stop the run and take away gaps and make sure you get multiple tacklers to the ball. Coaching points of a variety of fundamentals, as I talked about. The D line and outside linebacker, their strike, spill, and run downs, chase downs. Outside linebacker, he shows a clip of their outside linebacker forcing. And the spill example, as I talked about, talks about the inside linebacker guard read, shows a couple examples of that, again with video. And then how the DB man reads can quickly let them be a secondary force/contain type players. So check it out on Chiefpigskin with the Touchdown membership.
As always, guys, if you have questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Check me out and follow me on Twitter at Coach Klee. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like what you see. And if you have anything that maybe requires a longer response, hit me up at coachbrienklee@gmail.com. Thanks as always for tuning in. See you again.